You check your credit card statement every month, make your minimum payment on time, and feel like you're managing your finances responsibly. But there's one mistake that could be costing you thousands of dollars every year without you even realizing it. And it's probably happening in your wallet right now. What is this one specific thing that you can do to fix this problem? You're about to find out. So what is the number one credit card mistake that is secretly robbing you of thousands of dollars? It's carrying a balance from month to month instead of paying off your full statement balance. This seemingly small financial habit can easily cost you $10,000 or more annually, depending on your balance and interest rate. Let's look at the shocking math behind this hidden cost, why minimum payments are a credit card trap, and how compound interest is working against you. Plus, I'll share a simple solution anyone can take to avoid this costly mistake. Carrying a balance, whether it's just a few dollars or thousands, means you're paying interest charges on your account. Interest rates on credit cards can range from around 19% to over 25%, so even a small balance can add up quickly. For example, let's say you carry an average balance of $5,000 on a credit card with a 24% annual percentage rate. That's pretty typical for many cards today. You're not just paying $1,200 in interest per year. You're also losing the opportunity to invest that money or pay down other debts. Here's the kicker. Most credit card companies structure minimum payments so that only a small portion goes toward the principal balance. The rest goes to interest on a $5,000 balance with minimum payments. You might pay only $50 to $75 toward the actual debt each month, while $100 goes straight to interest. That $5,000 balance could take over 20 years to pay off. If you only make minimum payments, and you'll end up paying more than $15,000 total. The credit card companies love this because they're essentially earning 24% annually on money they lent you. Imagine lending $5,000 to a friend and they pay you back $24,000 over 20 years because they can only make small monthly payments. That's basically what's happening. And it's legal, but it doesn't seem very fair. Now multiply this by multiple cards or higher balances and you can see how the costs spiral quickly. People with $20,000 in credit card debt often pay $4,000 to $6,000 per year just in interest charges. Why minimum payments are a trap. Now, you might be thinking, I always make my minimum payments so I don't fall into debt. That's great, but consider this. Credit card companies design minimum payment structures to keep you in debt as long as possible. The minimum payment is usually calculated as a small percentage of your balance, often just 2 to 3%, which barely covers the interest charges. This creates an illusion of affordability. A $5,000 balance might have a minimum payment of only $100 to $150, which feels manageable. But you're essentially renting that money from the credit card company at an extraordinarily high rate. For example, if your minimum payment is $150 per month and $100 of that goes to interest, you're paying a 12% interest rate on that money. That's incredibly expensive. What makes this particularly insidious is that your minimum payment decreases as your balance goes down, which extends the payoff time even further. You end up in a debt treadmill where you're making payments but barely making progress. Consider this. If your credit card balance is $5,000 and your minimum payment is $150 per month, it would take you over 4 years to pay off that balance at that rate. By the time you finally pay it off, you'll have paid over $2,000 in interest. Not exactly worth the convenience of a credit card. The compound interest nightmare. Most credit cards have daily compounding interest. This means interest is applied to your balance every day instead of just monthly. Here's how it works. Say you have a $5,000 balance with a 24% interest rate compounded daily. This snowball effect makes your debt grow faster than many people realize. For example, if you had a $5,000 balance with a 24% interest rate compounded daily, I've seen people who thought they were managing their debt responsibly discover that their balances were actually increasing despite making regular payments. This happens when minimum payments don't even cover the monthly interest charges. The opportunity cost multiplier. The real cost of credit card debt goes beyond just the interest you pay. It's also the money you can't invest, save, or use for other financial goals, because it's tied up in debt payments. For example, if you're paying $500 monthly toward credit card debt, instead of investing that money in index funds, averaging 7% annual returns, you're missing out on significant wealth building. Over 20 years, that $500 monthly investment could grow to over $245,000. This is called opportunity cost, and it's often much larger than the direct interest payments. You're not just losing money to interest, you're losing the chance to build wealth with that same money. How rewards cards can make it worse. Many people justify carrying balances because they're earning rewards points or cash back. But this is almost always a losing proposition. Even the best rewards cards offer 1 to 2% back, while you're repaying 20 to 30% in interest on balances. Earning $50 in cash back while paying $1,000 in interest isn't a win. It's a $950 loss. Credit card companies heavily promote rewards programs because they know that people who chase rewards often carry balances, which more than offsets the cost of the rewards. The psychological trap of available credit. Having available credit creates a psychological spending cushion that can lead to overspending. When you see a $10,000 credit limit, it feels like you have $10,000 to spend, even though borrowing that money comes at a steep cost. This available credit can also create a false sense of financial security. People think they have an emergency fund when they really have access to expensive debt. Using credit cards for emergencies often turns temporary financial stress into long-term financial burden. Breaking free starts with mindset. The first step to avoiding this expensive mistake is changing how you think about credit cards. They're not extra money. They're loans with extremely high interest rates that should be paid off immediately. Start treating your credit card like a debit card. If you can't afford to pay cash for something, you can't afford to put it on a credit card either. This mindset shift alone can prevent you from falling into the balance carrying trap. Set up automatic payments for your full statement balance, not just the minimum. This ensures you never accidentally carry a balance and pay interest. If you're already carrying balances, make paying them off your top financial priority. Consider strategies like the debt avalanche, paying minimums on all cards while putting extra money toward the highest interest rate card, or debt consolidation to lower interest rates. Your money deserves better. Don't let a simple financial habit cost you $10,000 or more per year. Pay off those balances. Use credit cards as tools rather than crutches, and redirect that money toward building the financial future you actually want. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, your money makes a difference.